Hello students, welcome to Ekam IAS Academy. As we had promised you earlier, every Saturdays you will have a current issues class either by me or Chandrasekhar Rath sir, right? So in the series of these current issues classes, see, there is a difference between current affairs and current issues. You need to understand. What is being given to you every day when you come to the class is the current affairs, which you are supposed to study on your own, because it is more of factual information. There is no point taking class on that. But what we do is, during the week we pick up some current affairs which are current issues. The difference between a current affair and a current issue is, current affair is in news for a day, that's all. Some important decision taken by a government or some important thing that has happened in the economy, political or the international relations or the security landscape, one decision come in the news. So it is a fact based information that you are supposed to prepare on your own. But if something has happened which has got the nature of turning from current affairs to a current issue, that we will be discussing on every Saturday, right? So now what the prelims test that you would be writing will primarily be from your classroom learning and the current affairs that we are giving you every day. But your prelims के बाद जो mains test, weekly mains test that you will have, that will come from your classroom learning and from the current issues that we will discuss in this particular lecture. So it is a combination. Two things are running parallelly. One prelims, the other is mains. Okay? So what we do is, generally every day we, along with the current affairs, we take out lot of articles under the heading called special articles. This is known as Ekam special articles, which are compiled during a week, and at the end of the week on a Saturday we will take your current issues class. So whatever issues that you find in your current issues segment on today's copy with you is the issues that have happened in the past 10 to 12 days. So most important ones we have picked up, that we will be discussing in the classroom, right? So all the domains, polity, IR, economy, science and technology, all the important topics. But what happens with science and technology is, primarily it is current affairs based. Science and technology generally does not have a current issue dimension. So that will be covered in your current affairs only. So with that intention, today's class stands, on the current issues. The first topic, if you can read from your booklet that has been given to you, is the decision of India not to export wheat. Now very important. See, now that your economy classes have not started, whenever, see, wheat, if you see in the orientation classes also, I told you knowing the syllabus is very, very important. Now the moment this word comes on the newspaper, now you have to ask some questions to yourself. What is this? Where is it related to in my syllabus? The moment you say yes, it is related to Indian economy. Under Indian economy, it is related to agriculture. Now because they are talking with respect to export of wheats, because they are talking with respect to export of wheats, not only agriculture, then it will come under my balance of payment, it will come under my foreign trade. Now you understanding how the linking happens. And when you are talking about agriculture, there is some static part, there is some dynamic part here. The static part in agriculture, what are the various crops in Kharif crop, what are the various crops in Rabi crops, basic school learning, no? Kharif crop and the Rabi crop. What is the Kharif crop? Which is the most important Kharif crop you have? Rice is the most important Kharif crop, and which is the most important Rabi crop? Wheat happens to be the most important Rabi crop. So now very important in agriculture, Rabi crop. Kharif and Rabi are basically Arabic names. Kharif in Arabic means autumn and Rabi means spring. Okay? So there are three countries in the world who use this terminology: India, Pakistan and Bangladesh. Keep noting, keep noting. India, Pakistan and Bangladesh, these are the three countries who use this name, right? The moment something like this is taught, one thing should come into your mind is the cropping cycles of India. The cropping cycles of India or the cropping seasons of India. This is one of the topic of your agriculture and economy. When it will start, you will come to know about it. Right? Come fast, Naveen. Try to be on time. Pick up the copy of current affairs. There at the table, entrance. Yeah. Now, just see from one word how many dimensions you opened up for your learning. So, the UPSC will never ask a question directly what is wheat. It will definitely ask a question where all it can be influencing the economy, right? So, in this particular article, there was, now we all know that this is happening. Now we all know that this is happening. What is that which is happening? Russia and Ukraine war is happening, right? Now this Russia and Ukraine war has affected the availability of wheat in the world, because these two countries happen to be the largest exporters of wheat. Now, when these two countries were the largest exporters of wheat to the world, now because of the war between these two countries, the export of wheat got disturbed. So now, seeing this as an opportunity, India wanted to fill in the gap. India wanted to fill in the gap of, what is this gap? We spoke, no? There are three determinants in the market: supply, demand and price. Demand, supply, demand and price. Because of the war, what got affected? Because of the war, what got affected? The supply got affected. The demand probably remained the same, but the supply got affected. What will happen to the price? The price will shoot up. Now, there is a supply side bottleneck created because of this war. Now, India wants to, because it has certain quantities of buffer stocking of wheat, and because the sowing season just now happened, April, May, so they wanted to, not the sowing season, the harvesting season. So they wanted to utilize this opportunity, to fill in the supply gap, right? But what happens is, whenever a government takes these kind of spontaneous decisions, the domestic market is also there for wheat, yes or no? Wheat happens to be, one of the most staple food of Indians even today. Entire North India is, staple food is wheat only, right? The moment the government took a decision that we are planning to fill this gap, what effect will happen on the domestic market? What will happen? First and foremost thing, speculation will happen. And what will this speculation be about? Two dimensions. This speculation can happen only in these three dimensions. If the India tries to improve the supply here, somewhere the domestic supply will get affected. The domestic supply will get affected. If the domestic supply will get affected and the demand being the same, what will happen to the price? The price will increase. The same logic will start applying here, and this is based on speculation. It is not the real scenario of the market. Maybe we would have enough quantity as a buffer stocking. The estimation of the government that this year we will approximately harvest 111 million tons of wheat. But the fourth advanced estimate, there are 5 estimates given by the government as regards the agricultural production. First, second, third, fourth and final estimate, right? So these are the 5 estimates which the government at regular intervals keeps giving to the market, so that people are aware what is happening about the availability of a particular product of agriculture in the market. In the fourth advanced estimate, the government said that earlier the estimate that the market will get 111 metric tons of wheat, but however, because of something happened, the market now will get only 106 million tons of wheat. Now, you said you will increase the supply outside. Now, instead of your demand being equal, your supply also got reduced in the background of the estimation given by the government. So, your domestic supply also got reduced. And why this domestic supply got reduced? What happened? In the month of April and May, just before the harvesting season, the temperatures in North India touched 48, 49. Day before Delhi was 49 degrees, right? So the high temperatures negatively impact the final output of the wheat. So that is how, because of that variation in temperature which was not expected by the Indian Meteorological Department, the production of wheat finally got affected by 5 million tons. And along with this, the government gave another statement that though we are expecting this to be 106 million ton, it may even further come down to 100 million tons. So that is how the negative effect of supply is seen in the domestic market as well. Now the supply, this is the international scenario and this is also the domestic scenario. Now what will happen to the price of wheat? The price of wheat will go high. So this is when there was a time when the wheat was selling at around 33 rupees a kg on an average. In this backdrop, the wheat started being sold at 59 rupees per kg. So just imagine, just in a matter of 2 months, one, decision by the government to export wheat. Second, the estimates getting variation, reduced estimates, and third is the price going up. So all these factors force the government to rethink on whether we should go for exporting the wheat or not, right? So that is how you must understand that happening of one particular event or just one particular word in this particular column can have so many implications to the government, right? Please see this. One question you write on left side wherever the gap is available on this part. This is a very important document. You have to start filing it. At the end of the day, when you go for writing your mains examination, if you can just flip through this, everything is covered. You can go, boldly to the examination. Everything will come from here on. Don't worry. Okay? Now, write somewhere in the left corner wherever white space is there. What are the various programs of the government? What are the various programs of the government initiated to ensure? What are the various programs of the government initiated to ensure food security in India? Food security in India. Don't get afraid by these words. Food security campaigners. बहुत बड़ा word नहीं है. What are these people? Who are these people? Food security campaigners. These are the people who are trying to tell the government more than earning forex or the foreign exchange, the food security of our country is important. That is what they are trying to say. The food security of the nation is important. Even if there is an opportunity to earn some forex reserves, this opportunity should not be utilized at the cost of food security for my nation. So these people, you can term them as nationalists. These are the people who will keep the nation on top. Collect the document first. Collect the document pictures. Okay, these people are who? They are the food security campaigners. Now, see, agriculture historically, if you see, always has agriculture as part in the economy. It does not have only economic, what you call reflection. It also has socio-political reflections also. See, agriculture as a word denotes only economy, right? But it always historically had socio-political reflections as well. One small decision going wrong concerning agriculture, the sitting government will have to face the backlash very badly. So they are always vigilant when they take any important decision related to food security in our country. Okay? Now, they have used when you come to the second paragraph, why were wheat exports banned? In that second point, according to the Press Trust of India. Now, very important, underline this word, Google about Press Trust of India and write basic information related to it onto the left side. This is how you should start learning now, right? Rest of India, 2-3 lines, not more, right? See, next again, if you come to the fourth or fifth, sixth point, the wholesale inflation of wheat. Now, the wholesale inflation, the retail inflation, two words. When economy will be taught to you in depth, that time it will be clarified, but for the time being, wholesale inflation is primarily the inflation which the wholesale trader is facing when he is buying goods from the manufacturer, right? So that is the cost. Wholesale inflation means if the wholesaler was paying 100 rupees today for purchasing 1 kg of wheat, if the inflation is increased by 14%, he will end up paying 114 rupees for that. So it is the inflation which the wholesaler is facing. They did not talk about the retail inflation here. Retail inflation is the inflation which the end consumer will be facing. The next line he says that it accelerated to how much percentage? 9.59. It means the wholesaler experienced more and the retailer experienced less inflation. Now tell me, anybody, why there is a difference between wholesale inflation or the wholesale price index and the consumer price index? Why the wholesale price index is always higher than the consumer price index? Anybody? Though it is a higher level economy question, but still. You generally see now the inflation is around 6 point something or 8 point something percentage now. What is the CPI now? Last month CPI. You have to keep a tab of all these things. I told you, you have to open special pages. So in a booklet, a column designed CPI in the month of March, in the month of April, in the month of May. After 10 months, you make a graph. What was, has there been a steady increase in CPI or there has been a break? What is the comparison between WPI and CPI? Who is the authority who is taking out the CPI? Who is the authority who is taking out the WPI? What are the basket of commodities in WPI? What are the basket of commodities in CPI? Why there is a variation in WPI and CPI? ऐसा पढ़ना है. If you study like this, I am telling you, nobody can stop you from clearing this examination. You cannot do random reading. You have to do strategic reading. So when you go back home, economy especially, this is one subject where you need to have a book for indexing only, where you keep creating index of these kinds so that you make a comparison. Last year this is the highest commodity India exported. This year this is the highest commodity India exported, India imported. Why is India importing this particular commodity? Why are we not able to produce this commodity? If you start thinking on these lines, making notes on these lines, let them ask anything in the interview, you will do exceptionally well. That's why I told you in the interview, in the orientation session, your approach should be interview oriented approach to the examination. ठीक है? अरे आई बात समझ में? Good. चलो next paragraph. We will not get into the wheat and all, but couple of things, important information related to this. It is a plastic crop. It is a plastic crop. It is also extended, and see, these are very important from prelims point of view. It says that wheat is a leading food crop in the world farming. It is the main food crop of which zone? Temperate zone. Very, very important for prelims. It is a plastic crop. And then fourth point, its cultivation began in which period? Neolithic period. Very, very important. Bread wheat is known to have been grown in the Nile Valley by 5000 BC, and its apparently later cultivation in other regions which included the Indus and the Euphrates Valley. Indus is our Indus Valley civilization area, the Euphrates, and it went to China by 2500 and England by 2000. A very beautiful question can be framed from here. Which are the civilizations where the cultivation of wheat started? So they will give you all the names. It started in the Nile Valley. It started in the Nile Valley, and what was the period? Then see, last point in that paragraph, it was introduced into Mexico. There is a belief that Mexico is the place where the wheat production originated. That is why he is giving a clarification that it was introduced in the Mexico by the Spaniards, that is the Spains, in C to 1520 and into Virginia by English colonies early in the 17th century. So it did not start in Mexico, it started in the Nile Valley, right? There are some other important information related to wheat. About wheat, second point, India is the second largest producer of wheat in the world. Who is the first? Who is the first producer of wheat in the world? Make a box, go and Google. One more information is there. Largest exporter and largest consumer. We are the second largest exporter and the second largest consumer. Now find out who is the first largest exporter and the first largest consumer. Now, in one of the points it is saying wheat has a narrow geographic land base. Wheat has a narrow geographic land base. Narrow geographic land base. What do you understand by this? Narrow geographic land base. What does it mean? Anybody? Narrow geographic land base. What does it mean? Yeah, on a comparison with rice cultivation, the area of geographical land available for wheat is much more lesser, narrow. Okay. Last column, last paragraph, quality of wheat, just before the question. The protein to carbohydrate ratio of wheat grain is 1:. Last paragraph before the question, quality of wheat. The protein to carbohydrate ratio of wheat grain is approximately 1:6. Very important, make a note. And the protein contents in wheat includes albumins, globulins, glutens and gliadins. So albumins dissolves in water and coagulates in heated aqueous solution. So this is very important. The other protein forms are insoluble in water and are called gluten. It is the highest in wheat, 16 to 50%. Because of gluten, wheat flour is used for baking. Very important question from basic elementary science point of view. So you can expect a question on these lines. So it's very important. Critically examine the decision of the government in taking a U-turn with respect to wheat exports from India. Do you think the government lost an opportunity to earn forex with wheat exports? No. Can anybody attempt this? Let's break the question. What is the first question? They are asking us to critically examine the decision of the government. And what is this decision about? Taking a U-turn. And then what is the next line? U-turn, okay. Do you think the government lost an opportunity? Do you think the government lost an opportunity of earning what? Forex reserves. Now tell me what all dimensions you will bring into your answer writing. First, how do you start this question? They are asking you to critically examine. Don't you forget what is the meaning of critically examine. You tell me what is your decision on the government taking a U-turn. Can I start by giving a prelude of the Russia-Ukraine war? 1.5 line. The ongoing, can I write? The ongoing Russia-Ukraine war created a vacuum in the availability of wheat worldwide. India wanted to take this opportunity or use this opportunity and earn some forex reserves. Can I start this? So you are telling where this U-turn, how this opportunity. Both you hit in the first line, hardly 1.5 line. Then you will say immediately, however, this in essay writing and answer writing, These kind of words are called connectors. Very, very important. These words are called connectors. The moment you will say however, it means the coming statement has some implication on the previous statement also. So whenever you break a paragraph in essay writing, you will use the second paragraph should always start with a connector, connecting the first paragraph with the second paragraph. So the same way I am trying to connect one more line with this. Now what will I write? However. However means something which will be written anti to the first statement. Or yes or no? Yes. With me? Now what will I write? However. However, what will I write? However, despite of this golden opportunity, the government of India was also duty bound to ensure what? Two things. Ensure food security and price stability in the domestic market. So in the 1.5, 2, 3 lines only you have given the entire reason why you have taken a U-turn or whether it was a lost opportunity or not. Getting my point? So this is how you have to start learning to write in UPSC. The first impression is created in the introductory part only. Nobody has got ever time to read what you will write completely. These tricks and trades I will tell you at the last, not now. Maybe November, December time. It is always said that people do not have the leisure time to correct word by word what you have written. So your introduction is known to be the preface of the entire answer that will follow. So if you impress here, he will not read Seedha Marega. If it is a 10 marker question, 4.5, 5, 5.5, 6. 6 if it is too good, if the introduction is too good. Now, how do you justify this U-turn? Though he is using the word critically examine, see generally the belief system amongst the student is that the critically examine means you have to definitely criticize the government. No, it does not stand good, right? So critically examine means basically depending on the situation, you give an opinion where do you feel that whether a particular decision by a government, by a corporate entity or a regulatory body or an individual stands the testimony of ground realities or not.